Shalom. Call Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash and Shani Kabad Gadawala Rakwab Kwanyam Nawa Wa Shalayakim Nawa. That's double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom Wabarakim Labakayim Shalayasharala. And that is peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And also, may a double portion of the Holy Spirit be put upon the brothers that are out there on the highways and byways, offering your bodies as a living sacrifice out there on the front lines. So I wanted to get into a topic that I was dwelling upon at work this morning while I was watching some videos by a few brethren. And basically that's the case that you have a lot of people that claim they believe in the Bible. They're hoping for the Lord to return, and they claim that they're looking forward to the kingdom of heaven being established. And as the Lord's Prayer says, on earth as it is in heaven. And we know that basically that's saying that if you're saying that prayer, you want the righteousness that is in heaven to be established here on earth. And that is what the scriptures talk about, the kingdom of heaven. It will be established here on earth. And Yahweh Shai will sit on the throne of David, which is the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel by default, if you have understanding of the scriptures. Now, with that being said, you can't claim, and most Christians don't understand what the kingdom of heaven is, nor do they know anything about the tabernacle of David. However, regardless, they're hoping, a lot of them are hoping for the kingdom of heaven to be established. But at the same time, and this is really our people too, at the same time, they're hoping for and praying. They're praying for the prosperity of America. But my question is, how can you pray for the prosperity of America and hope that everything goes well here in America if you also claim that you're hoping for the kingdom of heaven to be established? Because for the kingdom of heaven to be established on earth, that means that the current kingdom that is on earth has to be dethroned, has to go down. This current king has to be dethroned. And this current power structure, which is known as the beast in the scriptures, has to be put out. So there's no way that you can pray for the prosperity of America and hope for the prosperity of America and claim that you're also looking for the kingdom of heaven to be established. It doesn't work that way. That's why it truly astonishes me, the fact that, and we don't do this because we have wisdom, but maybe when you first came in you did this, but we're not going around just spewing to everybody that we see about the kingdom of heaven and about the truth about the scriptures, because we know that's not using wisdom. Not everybody's going to get it. But let's say we were just going around and everybody's asking us, oh, what is your 5-year plan, or what is your 10-year plan? And if we were to say, well, I don't really have a 5 or 10-year plan here on earth. What I'm doing is just working my job and waiting for the Lord to return. If we were to say something like that to these people, they would think we're outright crazy and bugged out of our mind. They would say, hold on, you don't plan on going to college, or you're not striving to make something of yourself or leave a legacy or do something with your life. And we would say, no, we're just waiting on the Lord to return. So that's a crazy answer to give to anybody, but it really shouldn't be that crazy. What's really wrong with us saying we're just waiting for the kingdom of heaven to be established, and in the meantime I'm just chilling? In the meantime I'm just doing the Lord's will. I'm just going to be reading and I'm just going to be teaching, and that's it. I'm going to have faith in the Lord that his kingdom is going to be established. What's wrong with giving that answer? But of course we understand the scriptures say the Lord is going to save us through what? Through the foolishness of preaching. But sticking on topic, let me make sure this is, there we go. This is Revelation 19, verse 10 through 12. It says, and I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that out first is because you have a lot of scriptures in the Old Testament that have not been fulfilled. Guess what we call that? It's called prophecy, because it's something that is going to come to pass, such as what? The kingdom of heaven being established, how the Lord is going to return, what he's going to do when he returns. There are plenty of scriptures in the Old Testament and even in the New. I'm saying Old Testament on purpose for those who don't believe in the Old Testament. There are plenty of scriptures in the Old Testament that outline the Lord's return. That's called prophecy, and that's what we push. That's what we're waiting for, which is why we're not hoping for the prosperity of America, because it has to go down. Babylon the Great must go down. This beast structure made up of NATO and the EU must be put out for the kingdom of heaven to be established. Verse 11, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. That's Yahushai. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Why would the Lord make war? Because his current rulership must be put out, and that's the righteous way to go about doing so. Now, verse 12 says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And that's the point, but I'll finish it out. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Now, why does it say on his head were many crowns? Well, this is the prophecy that hasn't been fulfilled yet. Now, the Lord isn't going to come back literally with crowns stacked upon his head. That's not how it's going to be. It's an analogy or a metaphor, if you will, that recognizes how the Lord is going to come back and dethrone the kings of this earth. AKA, we can name a few. The king of Babylon, which is Trump right now, who rules over America. You got the king of Russia, what's his name? Putin. You also got people like Netanyahu, I think is how it's pronounced, and so on and so on. You got Kim Jong-un, whatever his name is, I don't really care, but you know what I'm talking about. These are different kings of the earth right now that are ruling, that have a particular kind of structure or power, whether they've given themselves to the beast or whether they're actually helping to run that beast as a whole in general. Regardless, the Lord is going to have many crowns because he's making war. And America is going to be one of those kingdoms. Matter of fact, when we jump right back over here to the 17th chapter, we're going to read America is going to be dethroned. As a matter of fact, it's going to be put out by its own, the nations that have given their power unto the beast. And we're going to read that here. Revelation 17. We'll start maybe verse 12. Let me see. Yeah, we'll read verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which represent the EU nations, specifically when it first was created, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And the beast system is a power structure that governs the entire world, which is made up of NATO and the EU. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. You see? These shall make war with the Lamb. Who's the Lamb? We already read that the Lord is going to come back and make war. So you should know who the Lamb is. That's Yahushai. But we'll get a precept on that. This is the book of John, chapter 1. And let me see, where was it? John 1 verse 29. The next day John seeth Yahushai coming unto him, and saith, Behold, the Lamb of the Most High Yahweh, which taketh away the sin of the world. So whom the world ignorantly causes Jesus, his true name is Yahushai. That's the Lamb. He's the Lamb. So Revelation, let's go back, chapter 17. And we were at verse 14. It says, These shall make war with the Lamb. So we're going to see that what? We're going to see that beast system, NATO and the EU, they're going to make war with Yahushai, it says. And what's going to happen? And the Lamb shall overcome them. That's why we read Revelation, the 19th chapter, starting out, that the Lord is going to have many crowns upon his head. Because why? He's going to overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called